Hello, please allow me to introduce group number one. We chose option one for this assignment. Our team members are Edward Alberts, Lizette Alvarez, myself, Jewel Gomez, Anson Ting, and Dennis Graham. To begin, in the dynamic world of global retail, success isn't just about what you brew, but how you sell it. Join us as we explore the strategies Epic Brew Co. should employ going forward to drive sales success and increase profits around the globe. At Epic Brew Co., we pride ourselves in our ability to impress our customers with our superior products and services. By going above and beyond, we have been able to maintain our reputation as the leader in exceptional service. The purpose of this analysis is to enhance our understanding of our current stores as well as existing customer needs, while forecasting future trends and promotional sales. As we look to the future, our mission is clear: to elevate global revenue and enhance reputation by examining the relationship between promotional markdowns and sales performance. A successful analysis will provide invaluable insights from the past year, allowing Epic Brew Co. to chart our strategic course in the future. We want the world to savor the extraordinary. To prepare the data for analysis, we reviewed the data for accuracy and identified errors or anomalies that may have impacted our reporting. Next, we determined which type of analysis would be the best insights to either confirm or reject our hypotheses. Finally, we ensured the variables were in the appropriate variable type for each analysis. By using a combination of regression analysis, tests, or t-tests, ANOVAs, just to name a few, we wanted to see if there were any trends that could help guide your decision making in the future. While we did not remove outliers from variables we tested, such as CPI and unemployment rates, it is important to consider additional factors that may influence original data points, which were not included in this analysis. Okay, we will start off with some good news, and then we'll go into the 14 to 15 questions that we have prepared today, and we'll answer with analysis. So just to start off here, it is no secret that Epic Brew Co. is proud to have surpassed $4 million in total sales for the year. But the question is, how do we keep that momentum going as we craft an exceptional product and to also not lose sight of our customer needs? Here we can see, in order to have reached 4.2 million in sales, the mean total sales for the year was 20,497 as direct revenue from our 4 flagship stores. What was interesting was that with a standard deviation of 19,000, we see there is significant variability in these monthly sales figures. This tells us that sales can typically fluctuate from about $19,000 above or below the average of the $20,000. So what paved the way for the rest? And what products specifically were a hot commodity? Those are the questions we will address. We can see here the data showed that the Munich store edged out all others in average total sales. While there may be additional variables to explore, we focus specifically on department and sales performance. Among all the departments analyzed, Munich emerged as a top performer. Using a one-way ANOVA analysis, we can reject the null hypothesis that the total sales for each of the 4 stores was equal for the year. Additionally, the Levine's test shows a value of 6. This indicates that there is considerable variation between the 4 stores. Store number 2, or Munich, is the highest performing store. The population or N value is the same across all stores, indicating a fair comparison between the stores. Additionally, based on the one-way analysis of variance, we concluded that the promotional markdowns for the year are not equal across all 5 departments. This indicated that further analysis is needed to be conducted in order to really hone in on we're working, what areas we're working and what areas needed improvement. When analyzing the means of total sales and the means of markdowns, we could see again, Munich had an edge above the others. But why? Let's take a look at some considerations. Okay, here we can see some trends. So additional impacts in drivers, both in this study and in general, which may be included. So some included in this study could be temperature, holidays, markdowns, which we'll address later on in our recommendations after a few more questions and analysis and response. Additional impacts in drivers may include store location, so fuel costs, geographical accessibility to be considered in that, competitors within the area, and consumer market within the area. So that first one, store location, is it easy for our vendors and regular customers to obtain the product? For a consumer market, for example, are there many businesses, apartment complexes, colleges, or even complementary businesses nearby that draw in customers? Additionally, is our product considered affordable in each of the 4 distribution centers? So some of these factors within consumer market could potentially explain why some locations may perform better than others. This information is important to consider in addition to the studies performed in the data set. This analysis addresses question 3C from part 2. In this analysis, the appropriate predictor variable, so holidays, was used to predict dependent variable total sales. Our statistical hypothesis, the average total sales for the year on holidays is 46,000. The average total sales for non-holidays for the year was 18,000. So we can reject the null hypothesis. When analyzing the relationship between CPI and total sales, we found there to be weak negative correlation between 2 variables as the correlation coefficient was negative 0.191. The relationship is not strong enough to be considered significant. A negative correlation could imply that high consumer prices are associated with lower sale figures. However, it is important to note that since the correlation is actually weak, there may be other factors that affect total sales that are not captured by the CPI. We could not use CPI as an indicator or predictor of future sales or future total sales. Using a linear regression analysis, we can reject the null hypothesis that there is significant relationship between unemployment and total sales. Within this analysis, we see a value of 0.075, which indicates there is not a significant relationship between total sales and unemployment. The analysis here, it addresses question 2 of part 2. So based on the analysis and significance at the 0.01 level, we can conclude that correlation is significant between temperature and total sales. We can conclude the null hypothesis is accepted and that there is a relationship between temperature and sales per year. This analysis here satisfies question 3A from part 2. Using a linear regression analysis, we can reject the null hypothesis. CPI is not the best predictor of total sales for the year. The best predictor of total sales for the year is unemployment. Okay, just a few more of our questions and analysis, and then we'll go into our recommendations and a quick thank you. To determine whether temperatures above 70 degrees increase global sales, we first examine the data to check the frequency of exactly 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Since this temperature was not present, we created a nominal variable where 1 represented temperatures above 70 degrees and 0 represented temperatures at or below 70 degrees. Analyzing the new variable against total sales revealed a t-value of negative 2.987 with 206 degrees of freedom and a p-value of less than 0.001. This indicates a statistically significant difference in total sales based on temperature. So this is contrary to the team's belief, executive team. We found that sales were actually higher when temperatures were at or below 70 degrees. This analysis here satisfies question 3A of part 2. Using the Pearson correlation analysis, we can reject the null hypothesis that there is a significant relationship between CPI and holidays. The level of significance in the two-tailed test shows a value of 0.961, which indicates that there is not a significant relationship between CPI and holidays. Additionally, using a linear regression analysis, the F statistic is showing a value of 0.002. This indicates that the predictor variable of CPI is not significantly related to the dependent variable, which is holidays. Okay, and this is our last analysis response to one of the questions, and then we'll go into our recommendations and a quick thank you again. Based on the analysis and the significance at 0.01, we can conclude that correlation is significant. We conclude that the null hypothesis is accepted and that there is a relationship between fuel price, location, and sales per year. Okay, to sum everything up, we have 3 recommendations. The first one, so I'll read them off, then I'll go over them in detail. So the first one is temperature-based markdown strategy. The second one is non-holiday weekend promotions. And the third one is the response to fuel increases. So the first one here, again, I'll read it in detail, temperature-based markdown strategy. So we would implement a pricing strategy that increases markdowns on warmer days. So temperatures above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Warmer weather tends to drive foot traffic and can encourage customers to make spontaneous purchases, especially for seasonal products. The second one, non-holiday weekend promotions. So identify non-holiday weekends as key opportunity for markdowns. These periods often see less shopping traffic compared to holiday weekends, so targeted promotions can attract more customers and stimulate sales during quieter times. The third one, response to fuel increases or fuel price increases. So monitor fuel price trends and initiate markdowns when fuel prices rise significantly. Higher fuel costs can affect consumers, it can affect their disposable income and willingness to spend. By offering discounts, we can incentivize purchases and maintain sales momentum even during economically challenging times. Okay, and then final notes here. When implementing these strategies, CPI and unemployment tend to be non-factors. However, if you must select one, unemployment was shown to have more significant relationship with increased sales. By implementing these targeted markdown strategies, we anticipate increased foot traffic and overall sales, which would enhance customer satisfaction and loyalty. All right, thank you so much. Please let us know if you have any feedback. Thank you.